Thank you for those that are back with us. Thank you for those who came to my spring session. We had such a good time making cheese boards together. And today we're talking about my newest book, Instant Family Meals. This book actually comes out October 27th, so this is a pre-release. This is my first live event I'm doing about the book. And we're actually going to do signed copies today. So as Chad said at the end, if you want to get a signed copy, it's through our local bookseller, Rough Draft, and I will do a personalized inscription for you. So I'll just pop over to Rough Draft and get it signed for you or for whoever you'd like. Chad, you just disappeared, so I hope that's okay. I can only see myself, but I can't see you all in the audience. So if you have questions for me, you're going to just put it on the live chat box, which I'm going to have right next to me. I'm going to start cooking, and then if you have questions, I'll check in every once in a while. I might not get to your question immediately, but I will get to it throughout our half hour together. Okay, today we're going to make shakshuka. This is a breakfast shakshuka with feta and dill. This is something that my family loves to make. And when I lived in New York City for 15 years, we would have it often at brunches, and it's not something I made at home a lot, but it's something I make at home a lot now. It's a Middle Eastern dish, so I can't take credits for its origins. It's something that I learned from this culture that I've just really embraced. It's one of my husband's favorite meals because he's a vegetarian, so we do eggs for dinner a lot. But this time I'm making it for breakfast. So I wish I could see you guys. Hi, Brad. I wish I could see you guys and say by a show of hands how many of you use an Instant Pot. But if you end up getting my book, you'll see in my intro that I was a very slow adopter to the Instant Pot. In fact, all my cooking peers were so crazy about it. They kept telling me, oh, it's so great, pressure cooking's amazing, and you can cook meat in a really short period of time. And so I was like, yeah, I'm a Dutch oven girl. I love my Dutch oven. I love presenting it at the table. It's very like glamorous and beautiful. And I just love the smell of things cooking all day. But of course, over the last couple of years, especially for working parents, things have gotten really real. And we can talk more about my career with your questions, but I run a small business out of my home, and my husband's design and furniture workshop is in our barn out back. So we are often working, burning the midnight oil, trying to do 5 things at once. And the Instant Pot has come in really handy as my family has grown up. So the first things first, we're going to make a quick pomodoro sauce. This is a sauce that I make frequently. I use it for pizza. I use it for pasta. It's wonderful just tossed together on noodles. And in fact, you can actually put your spaghetti right in the pot after you make your pomodoro, and in about 5 minutes you have your whole dinner. And it's kind of that, in Italy you cook your pasta in the sauce a little bit. Here in the US, a lot of times we make a sauce, we make our pasta, we toss them together and serve it. But the proper way is to keep cooking it together, and so the starchiness from the pasta pulls out into the sauce, and the sauce kind of pulls into the pasta, and it just becomes more unctuous that way. So today we're going to use the pomodoro to make the shakshuka. And a lot of you probably know shakshuka. It's basically poached eggs in a tomato sauce. You can do a green shakshuka. You can do a red sauce shakshuka. There's so many different riffs on it. We're going to top it with feta, and I like to use caper berries and dill, which don't let me forget to get out of the fridge. Okay, so I already, in my pot, I have these whole peeled crushed tomatoes. I like to use San Marzano tomatoes because they're full flavored and they don't have anything going on with them. It's just in the sauce. You're going to dump 2 cans, that's what I have here, right in there with olive oil, garlic, salt, pepper, a little bit of bay leaf, basil, and then my secret is a little bit of butter because that softens the acidity of the tomato. So since we have a short amount of time here, that's already cooking. If anyone's new to the Instant Pot, I just want to tell you it's so simple. There's a huge panel here, and it makes it seem really complicated because, yes, you can push multigrain or porridge or steam or yogurt. I use one button and mostly one button on this, which is called pressure cook. It's very simple. You put pressure cook. I did a high pressure cook. You can see here it says 7 minutes. It's actually going to cook for 5 minutes, but it takes a while for it to come up to pressure. So now it's cooking and it's going to be counting down. And meanwhile, we're going to get the rest of our ingredients ready. We're going to toast some bread. I've got this beautiful ciabatta here from a local bread maker. We're going to slice it on the bias, and I'm going to toast that. I'm going to show you my favorite toasting bread trick. It seems simple and obvious, but actually it's a really important one because if you want to get that like really sexy, gorgeous bread like you see in a restaurant, first of all, cut it on the bias, and you really want an open crumb here. So we are going to toast this in a cast iron skillet. This is actually from a local maker here called Field Company. They sell Field Supply. I've been using the same one that I got at Field Supply maybe 4 years ago. I literally use it every day. Actually, you're going to see a lot of our local makers in my kitchen that are from Field and Supply, and I'll show you a bunch of them because I'm pretty sure that you can get a ton of their stuff. If you see things in my kitchen you like, there's probably a ton of stuff on the site right now, including Lost Corey, who is a ceramics maker. She doesn't make a lot of plates, but we collaborate together on plates for my books and my projects. But she makes stunning vases, so you can see some of her vases up there. Field and Company, and of course my husband, Hudson Workshop, he has these beautiful boards. So I'm toasting that bread in butter, salt, and olive oil. The butter kind of seeps deep into the crumb, and the olive oil gets that golden crust around the edge. So I'm going to check for questions really quick. Love Chef Shuka. Yes, I'm so happy you're here. Hi, guys. All right, so this is cooking already, and if, like, again, if you're new to the Instant Pot, I'm going to just tell you one quick thing here. If you're cooking on live steam, and I'm saying live because we're live, forget the word live. If you're cooking on steam here, you want to make sure that this vent is closed. And I'm going to just show you really quickly when I open it. Old pressure cookers, you know, not electric ones, they used to steam like crazy. You had to back away, and it was a bit scary. This will just steam out on its own, and you'll know that it's done when this little top pops up. So we're going to let that steam out. We're going to get the top popped up, and then we're going to start to put our egg right in there. So does anyone have questions specifically about Chef Shuka or about the Instant Pot while I wait for that steam to go down? I know this is new for a lot of people, and it can be intimidating at first, but once you get used to it, it's really simple. I'm going to check for questions. Yes, the cast iron skillet. So we have a question about the cast iron skillet. This is, I'm just going to double check that I'm saying it right. Yeah, Field Company. Field Company's cast iron skillet, I've used for the last 4 years every single day. I use it for eggs. I use it for toasting bread. Well, we have a lot of eggs. I use it for cooking fish or chicken or anything in there. So I also have kind of hands of steel because I've done so much cooking. So I just want to say that you usually wouldn't just pick it up like that. I'm looking for my towel. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't grab a towel and get it ready for me, but you are going to want, it does conduct heat all the way back. So you are going to want to use something. And same thing, if you need tongs, use tongs here. It's not hot right now, but I've got a nice even golden brown in here, but it's not brown and crispy enough. I want it to be really crispy. So we're going to let that keep going. And the beauty is you can kind of just keep a loose eye on that while you're doing everything else. This is the smaller Instant Pot. Now, if you were having a big crowd, you could do this in a much bigger Instant Pot, which I also have. You could do up to 8 or 10 eggs in there. I'm just going to do 4 in here today so I can plate it for you. This is an awesome lunch. I mean, it seems crazy to get this big thing out for breakfast, lunch, maybe for dinner, of course. But actually, if you just keep it kind of nearby on your countertop, you'll find that you can just do quick 5-minute things in there and walk away. So you can get something started, walk away and take your shower, or get something started, walk away and answer 15 minutes of emails and come back. The steam is releasing while you're doing other things, and then voila, you have breakfast or lunch. So I just want to quickly walk you through a couple of recipes while we're waiting for that to steam out. Another favorite is saucy beans and eggs. I do a lot of porridges in this. Porridge is really amazing because like congee, which is a rice porridge, I do some sweet porridges with amaranth. I have a coconut rice porridge. This one's millet and amaranth. And then if you have my other books, you know that I do like lots of salads and fresh things, but this is more of a like fall, winter, like beautiful soups, hearty meals. We've got a lot of stews and teaching you how to make mashed potatoes in the book. And even things like this coconut salmon, you'd be surprised. You can cook salmon in like 2 minutes. So even though it doesn't take long to cook salmon on the stovetop, it certainly is nice and easy to just know that it's foolproof and that it'll be really moist inside. And then I just want to quick show you a few desserts because They're amazing. The flan, cheesecakes, crumbles. So what I really set out to do with this book, and some people were surprised to see me do a book of this kind because my other books are very personal and they're really fresh and farm to table. This is also farm to table using tons of fresh food and fresh garnishes. But what I wanted to do with this was get rid of all the recipes that are complicated and shouldn't be done in a pressure cooker, like banana bread. Like the oven is perfect for that. What I wanted to do was give you recipes that are only improved upon because of the pressure cooker, either by time or texture or ease, or let's say you have a lot of kids at home and they're reaching up to the stove. This is all like, see, I can touch this while it's cooking and it will not burn me. I can sit there with my hands there for 5 minutes and there's no heat coming out at me. So all the heat is contained. This is a little hot, the steam there, but it wouldn't hurt you. So if you have young kids at home and they're constantly reaching up and you're super busy, this is a really great tool. So let me check on the toast. And I want to see, time is running quick here. I want to see if you guys have any other questions. So we're getting some nice browning. And then that one was a bit too hot. Nice browning there. I'm going to just turn that off and let it toast on the other side. And then we're going to quick release this so I can get the eggs in there for you. So the way you quick release is take a wooden spoon or a spoon or something, and you're going to release all the steam out really quickly. And it's telling me that it's done. And again, if you're new to this, this is just showing you that the cooking is done and that it's going to start counting up if you're waiting. So let me just check questions here. Yes. Okay. So thank you for the kind words about the book. So Instant Pot, is it easy to clean? This is an excellent question. So I am not a gimmicky appliance person at all. In fact, I was really reluctant to even get one because, like I said, you know, I like to keep my countertops really, really clean. You can see a lot of steam is coming up, and this is handy. You can just set it right there. So the Instant Pot is super easy to clean. In fact, this part, which we're going to crack our eggs into now, just while I'm telling you about the cleaning, I'm just going to smash this up. I know you can't see inside here. And even if I lift it for you, what will happen is I'll give you a real steam rush right into the camera. But so we have a beautiful sauce here. Now we could open this up and put it on boil or saute and continue cooking it if you wanted to thicken it. We're going to go ahead and crack these beautiful farm eggs right inside. And because I want to get this finished before we run out of time here. So yes, it is easy to clean. In fact, the only thing you need to do is pull out the liner, which I'm cracking into now. Did drop a little shell in, full disclosure. It's okay, you can pull it right out. The only thing you need to do is pull out the liner that I'm dropping this into, which is this. And then you want to clean the top. There is a flavor ring, it's called, like a sealant ring in there that keeps the steam inside. And you want to pull that out every third or fourth time and dishwash it. I just find that it holds the flavor of what you cooked if it was really strong. So if you made a stew or if you made something really cinnamony, it does hold the flavor a bit. So we're just poaching this right inside. We're going to close it up. I hope I don't lose you guys on time, and I want to get to all your questions. So yeah, all the parts, this part and this inner liner can all go into the dishwasher. So let's just stop there. I want to make sure I get you, there it is. I want to make sure I get you a finished beauty. I'm just going to close that up. So one of the cool things about it is that, did you hear that clicking sound? You know that you are clicking it and that it's sealed tightly. And we're actually just going to let it steam inside there without any pressure. You can put it on low pressure for eggs. If you're doing something like pudding, custard, you want to use a low pressure so it doesn't burst open your beautiful custard and get kind of a bubbly. You don't want that with a custard or a flan or a pudding or a cheesecake. But if you're doing something like meat or potatoes or root vegetables, you want high pressure because you really want it to work. The pressure is what's cutting the cooking time down. So for example, you can do a beautiful pot roast, which I have a recipe in the book, in about 45 minutes instead of 2 hours. Or you can do a borscht or a beef stew in about half the time, or have a ragu that takes about 45 minutes. It's incredibly flavorful. And one of the tricks that I do is I use little things like harissa or paprika paste because when you're making things on the stovetop and you're cooking it for 2-3 hours, you're continually concentrating the flavor as you evaporate out water. So in the Instant Pot, we're not evaporating that water because it's completely sealed. So we want to account for that flavor and that moisture. So you don't want to add too much moisture. So I talk a lot about this in the beginning of the book. So there's lots of these questions are answered in a Q&A at the beginning. But things like how much broth to add and should you lower it or higher it. I've tested all the recipes ad nauseum to make sure they work. So you don't want to tweak too much what's in there. But you can also see that I discuss like how to convert something that you love to the Instant Pot that you might need to lower the amount of liquid in there just a little bit. So just because we're short on time together, I'm just going to check. It's not quite cooked through, and I know that I'm going to lose my precious time with you guys in just a minute. Let me just make sure I have anything else answered that you guys want to know. So for the yolks, yeah, the bread is good because I turned it off. I just got it a nice golden brown, and that's just going to sit here and be ready for me. I was going to plate in this beautiful dish. And I want my whites to be set and my yolks to be still a little bit runny, because when you break into a shakshuka, I'm going to show you this again in case we run out of time here. When we break into the shakshuka, you want the egg to kind of melt into it. And we're going to add feta, caperberry, and dill. I'm going to grab the dill. I want to show you just something really quickly here. I've got this beautiful parsley and dill, and I've got some dill flour. So if you get late season dill from your garden, you can have this beautiful flowering dill. I'm just going to set it on there for now so that you can see it. And Chad, can you let me know, can we stick around for the finish and let people who want to stay, or you're probably going right into another live? So just let me know, because I don't want to cut you guys short, and I know that we're already at the 12:30 mark. So I'm just going to show you what we have going on in there. I'm still on the bit and the runny side, but I'll just plate for you the parts that you can see. So you have a nice chunky kind of a sauce, and I'm not going to pull out the eggs because they're not fully cooked yet. But I'm just going to go ahead and show you what you would get because I want you to have the full experience. The eggs will be done probably in about another 2 minutes. This is part of the territory of doing my first live with the Instant Pot. So you guys are my guinea pigs, and I appreciate you being patient. So we have this beautiful dish here. The poached eggs would be in there, and we're going to go big chunky feta. I like Bulgarian, French, or Greek feta. They're all a little bit different, but any will work. I like to do big. You know, when I style food, I like to be a little bit exaggerated. So I like to have a little bit bigger pieces than you might think. Therefore, I never buy the crumbled feta. It also ages pretty quickly. So I buy the whole feta because you can keep it much longer. We are going to put in a bit of cumin. That's what I have here. I'm just styling my feta too for you. Bit of cumin. There's something I really love called rose harissa. There's so many ways you can flavor a shakshuka. Friends of mine from the Middle East brought me this beautiful za'atar, which would be another option. So there's just so many different ways you can go with this. You can do sesame seeds. Make sure you season it properly. Salt, pepper, some beautiful caperberries, and a little bit of olive oil. I hope you guys can see that. That's my lunch, because I haven't eaten it yet. There you are. Can you see that? So if you'd like to buy the book, you don't have to cook your meals in 30 minutes, so that's the good news for you. If you'd like to buy the book, there's a link below where you can sign up. It will go right to Rough Draft, and there's a place for you to put an inscription if you want me to sign it for you or a friend, and I would be honored to do so. So thanks for being here with me today. And the book is out October 27th, Instant Family Meals.